Hey Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, the crew of the Honor survived a dangerous spear-throwing contest and survived the escape from Core-Forged home. With Marilla's assistance, the crew was able to plot a course deep into Galactic Alliance space without attracting unwanted attention. When you dropped out of phased anti-space, you popped on your cloak and took a look at an amazing vista. Hundreds of sleek blue-gray ships floating around the Lunar Belts of Mabos. Mabos itself is a visibly swirling and glowing gas giant. Ships range from massive bases almost the size of moons themselves to swarms of single-pilot interceptors. The system seems impossible to assail. Moments after you arrive, two things happen. First, an Imposition ship drops out of phased anti-space very near your ship. It is small but well-armed, but for the moment it is quiet. Second, the Black Dreadnaught simply appears, seemingly out of nowhere. In the total silence of space, there is a brief pause before the scene in front of you descends into total chaos. The Black Dreadnaught begins firing an impossible array of weapons. The once clean, orderly fleet of the Galactic Alliance descends into chaos, all vessels in front of you swarming like hornets trying to avoid and return fire. Meanwhile, on the small Imposition vessel near you, a blue light starts flashing, and Marilla crumples to the ground screaming and tearing at her neck. What do you all do?
So the prison guards have caught up with us, basically.
Sully, Marilla,
yes.
you gotta help Marilla.
Can I diagnose what's happening to her?
You can try to drag her to the medbay and do that, yeah.
Jyla, Mavek, I think I'll need someone to help drag her to the medbay with me.
All right, I pick up her shoulders and start trying to carry her.
Okay, both of you start dragging her towards the medbay, and while all that is happening, the first barrage from the Imposition vessel starts slamming into your ship, and we are in combat.
I think we better get busy, Mal.
Yeah, I think you're right. So they can detect us even though we're cloaked. I assume that whatever tracking thing is on her just basically renders our cloak useless.
You don't know that.
Okay. I mean, the fact that they start shooting at us.
You can make inferences, but there has been no information that would say that explicitly.
I mean, they're shooting at us.
I know that. What I'm saying is that is not like a given fact. It is a reasonable inference to make.
Vi is going to race up to the guns and get on. I'm going to go with the shield interference cannon.
Oh, you're going to try to interrupt their shields?
Yeah.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I'm going to try to operate on Marilla.
Okie doke.
Can I assist with that, or does Sully not need me anymore?
You can assist with that, yeah. It'll just earn you camaraderie.
Cool.
And then, Zach, just so you know, basically there's a separate damage track, basically, for the thing in her neck that she's clawing at.
So it's basically, I'm treating it as an enemy that I'm attacking?
Yeah, I mean, mechanically, you're treating it as an enemy that you're attacking, and so, like, you'll do a certain number of, like, narrative damage to it, and then it'll be, like, problem solved, just so you understand how this is going to work.
That works.
Malcolm, what you doing?
I'm going to try to avoid damage.
Everyone make their rolls.
Can I justify that this is a check using weird?
If you're using weird right now to, like, diagnose the problem, yes.
That's what I was... Basically, my idea was he's going to try to reach out and feel, like, what is not normal.
Sure.
That will be a 10.
And, Jyla, what'd you roll?
I think I'm going to use cool and say that I am doing my best to keep her, like, still and calm.
Okay.
So that Sully can focus more, and that gives me a 10.
Gotcha.
I got a 14.
Wow. Jeez, just out of the gate. Nice.
We don't get hit by nothing.
Vika.
I rolled a 10.
So, were you blasting some baddies, or what specific ship combat action were you doing? And I guess from where?
Well, she said she went to the gunnery station, and she was doing the shield interference, so deal damage, I guess.
I assume that would be deal damage.
Okay, cool. Once you start taking some fire from the Imposition vessel, you all respond very quickly. Malcolm manages to push the ship out of the way of most of the fire, cutting in half any damage that you would have taken. Sully, this is a difficult space for you to work in. Like, the ship is now moving very quickly and erratically, trying to avoid fire coming from the other Imposition vessel trying to reclaim their prisoner. But with the help of Jyla holding down your smuggler, you're able to kind of like reach out with your weird senses and start like feeling in her neck. And you can tell that there's something that isn't there. It's like something small, inorganic, and clasped around her nervous system. So it's like a very delicate and small thing that is not part of her and seems to be causing this distress. Vika, you return fire against the Imposition vessel, and you said you rolled a 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you deal weapon damage, and then you can also use a tag. Is there any tag that you want to use?
Yeah, I want to use shield interference.
Okay, gotcha. So what that's going to do is basically make it a little bit easier to hit them because their shields are now like staticky and flickering on and off. Mm-hmm. But they also just take 1 damage from you, blasting at them. All right. We're back around to the top of the order. What's everyone doing?
Can I use Rend to try to break this thing while it's in her neck?
Ooh, yeah, you can. I really like that.
Okay. Well, that will be a 7.
Okay, and Jyla, are you going to try to assist still?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
That is an 8.
Okay, so you gain 1 camaraderie from that. All right, sorry. So you guys have a total of 3 camaraderie right now.
So if we want, I could take all 3 to just destroy this thing. Well, potentially destroy this thing if we wanted.
Yes. It would do more damage, yes.
It seems worth it, even though we might need it later.
Okay, if we want to do that, I can definitely do that. I just don't want to take the entire pool from everyone.
Especially if that's the thing that's tracking them to us. That seems useful.
Okay, I will take the 3 points then, Cody, and make mine a 10.
Okay, cool. Vika and Malcolm.
Taking another shot.
Okie doke.
I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. How much damage does our ship have right now?
None. No, 1, sorry.
Just 1? Okay.
I don't make it. That's a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to avoid damage. Again, it's the best thing I can think to do right now.
Probably a good idea considering everyone rolled under.
That is a 12.
All right.
So I just had a thought. If the enemy can only hit us when we hit them, that's how the game mechanics work. What if we just do nothing?
You would just start taking static damage.
I know. I'm just joking. Just like we refuse to do anything, therefore they can't hit us back.
Sully, first of all, you feel like you can suss out the edges of this contraption. It's like clamped around her spine. And you can, like, to the point where you can tell all of the mechanisms that are causing her pain and also all of the mechanisms that would, like, be transmitting back a location after it was pinged. And you're able to, like, subtly and carefully just break all of those tiny little electrical connections, just making this a very expensive piece of internal jewelry. Malcolm is still doing a great job of spiraling out of the way of fire. Unfortunately, that's making it difficult for Vika to return fire and do any damage back to the Imposition vessel. Despite Malcolm's good efforts, you still take 2 damage on your ship as this very heavily armed vessel starts peppering you with fire, and you also gain the effect of detected. Oh, but the other thing, narratively, for Sully breaking that thing, you gain a tag of cloaked at a +1, and you are currently detected at a +1, which is canceling it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we can try to remove the detected 2.
So right now they have detected 1, you have cloaked 1, which balances out to a net 0 for anyone trying to utilize the fact that you are cloaked, but you can remove that detected tag within the mechanics of the game. Everyone roll again. Your ship still has shields up, you're still okay, but your shields are looking a little bit worse for wear.
Jyla, I think we're done here. I think we should probably go help Captain Malcolm Llewellyn and Vika before we are sent into the void once again.
Right. I'll see you later. I'm gonna run to the other gun.
Man, how do they keep spacing hitting us? I thought our cloaks were up, and he's gonna try to fix trouble to try to confuse them and mechanically get rid of detected. But I'm pretending like Malcolm doesn't know how they detected us.
Cool. Yeah, you start like clicking through frequencies on your cloak. All right, everybody roll their rolls.
I rolled an 8 to shoot at them again.
Okie doke.
I rolled an 8 on the other gun.
I rolled a 10. My rolls are going down. This is not boding well. 14, 12, 10.
I would like to... Can I create trouble with our cloaking thing? If not, I can just go to do the science terminal.
Yes.
I was actually trying to fix trouble using the cloaking device.
So you're not fixing trouble at the thing.
That was my thought. Yeah.
I think since he's using the cloaking thing, I'm going to say no, just because one person's already messing with the cloak.
I was confused. I thought he was like trying to do fancy piloting with like while we're still cloaked to like mess him up. That's fine. I
liked Cody's idea of like shifting through different frequencies to like obscure their sensors even more.
Can I do the lock on that we had before, where it's like guns like have auto assist?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I do that, and I rolled an 11.
All right, nice. Okay, and Jyla, you just rolled an attack, right?
Yep.
And are you wanting to like apply any tags, or you just wanting to do extra damage?
I'll just do extra damage.
And I guess, Vika, same question to you.
Extra damage.
Okay, so the ship kind of temporarily stops bobbing and weaving quite so crazily, and at first this seems to benefit the Imposition. They're able to spray a little bit of fire at you guys, dealing an additional 2 damage. Well, actually, it's 3. Sorry, I lied. Anyways, so doing 3 damage as you guys kind of halt to fix your cloak, but right as they're firing, the cloak kicks back on, you become invisible to them, and Jyla and Vika are able to return fire like devastatingly against the Imposition vessel, dealing 4 damage to it. As you see its shield sputter out, and you can see like sparks starting to fly from the ship as blasts fire into it.
Lucy, are you okay? You don't have a tracker in you or anything, do you?
I do not believe so, but if you would like, I could start stabbing at my neck to see if I could find one.
As a medical professional, I ask that you please do not stab yourself in the neck. Also, this thing is around your spinal column if it's there, so...
I have many spinal columns.
Does he?
He has at least 2. Yeah, I mean, redundancy is important for the Imposition.
What?
Well, he got the robot one and the regular one, you know?
Yeah, that's not unusual in sci-fi. Like, I think Klingons have 3 lungs or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, just anything for added redundancy.
I was just to try to imagine how 2 spinal columns would look.
He's a very wide boy.
I think you probably shouldn't spend a lot of time imagining that, because it would be a nightmare.
So are we out of the fight with the Imposition ship?
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
Their shields are just down.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so are ours, apparently.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to add our targeting onto our positive effects, Cody?
Yeah, I sure do. I forgot one thing. When you guys took that last kind of like pretty brutal barrage, 2 of your subsystems were damaged. So after that first one, your teleporter becomes damaged. Oh, no.
Oh.
And so does your gunnery.
Oh, no.
Which gun or both?
So the way a damaged subsystem works, I believe it basically applies to both of them.
Okay.
Sully's gonna fix that.
Well, I'm right there, so...
Vika, you should keep shooting.
Well, I don't think we can use it, can we?
Yeah, can we
You
keep
can use
using
it. It's just anything... When it's damaged, anything you do with it is at a -1.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Until it's offline, and then it's, like, gone.
Okay.
Can I fix it before they roll? Like, how does this work? Like, with the simultaneous? Is it like...
It works in whatever order is best for you guys.
Okay.
So, like, if you wanted to run down there and start shooting so Vika could fix it, an option if you wanted to run down there and fix it, well, Jyla was shooting. Ooh, you know what? Hang on. Wait 1 second. Let me make sure... I do not have anything that says you cannot repair a subsystem that someone else is using, so I'm going to say that is able to be done. It just will be damaged for the... Okay, yeah, actually, that's what I'm going to say. Repairs always trip last.
We can't fire this round.
You can.
Okay.
You're shooting at a -1, but you're targeting...
Okay.
And we can only apply 1 positive tag to something?
You can. It'll just be at a -1, yeah.
So you're going to use targeting or shield interference to get a +1. So you're firing at like whatever you normally fire at. I am going to fix it.
Okay.
That is what I'm going to do.
So everyone roll.
Do we still have the positive? We should have a positive effect of cloaked, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I deleted that.
That's an 11.
All right, so you repair gunnery, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, so at the end of the round, gunnery will be repaired. All right, what's everyone else doing?
I'm going to try to avoid damage using the status of cloaked. That is a 13.
All right.
I have a 10 to fire the guns.
And Vika.
11 to fire the guns.
Nice. Was that at a -1 for both of you?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, but -1 +1 for they have a tag they can use.
Oh yeah,
Targeting
that's
or
true.
shield
That's true.
interference.
You fire another barrage into the ship. You again see like At first, it's just sparks flying off of the vessel, but then, like, with the last blast that hits, you can actually see, like, holes starting to rend in the hull, and you can actually see, like, a little bit of atmosphere escaping. You're again now piloting around in circles as avoiding all damage coming at you, as Sully manages to fix the gunnery and gets you back all rolling at your normal way.
For reference, I feel like it is very utilitarian repair. Like, it's not how Vico would do it. Like, it's not a bad job, and it still looks nice, but it's just like, we can reroute this here.
Here's a question. Did he use duct tape?
Oh, no. No. Professionals have standards, Vinny.
He used medical tape.
Yeah, Sully kind of understands how mechanics works. He's just not as good at it, so it's just kind of like, we can make this go, it's like, we can make this go around this instead of having to deal with this broken part. So we went around it.
After that last round of fire, the ship that was chasing you kind of like breaks away, peels off, and starts flying just kind of like away, limping. You can see like smoke visibly coming off of it as it kind of like putters its way away from combat.
Well, that was certainly unexpected.
You can say that again.
Well, that was certainly unexpected.
Thank you.
I would like to point out to all of you, as I look outside, I see a vessel I would very much like escaping.
Yeah, I mean, the thought did cross my mind that is a ship we could take.
And it seems like a ship that we've already made enemies with.
Are you saying we should fire more guns? Because I'm all about firing more guns.
Yeah, I guess I'll pursue.
I'm going to start fixing the do I want to fix the teleporter, or do I want to help targeting? We can't blow up ships anymore, right? We changed that.
Ships being like completely obliterated is like a matter of time, not a matter of rolls. So
like hitting the right part or something. It's not like a warp core. You can't like blow up a warp core anymore.
Right. You're not going to like flick it and have it explode. What it is that you'll eventually render a ship completely inert, like just adrift. And at that point, if you wanted to destroy it to the point of no repair, there would be nothing stopping you from like literally cutting it in half with laser fire. But it just, that takes time. But it's no longer returning fire to you. You can't miss it.
Okay. Do you want me to fix the teleporter, or do you want me to boost you guys shooting?
I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with the roll that I just made, so...
How's Jyla doing, Caitlin?
With...
Shooting.
Fine, she got a 10 again.
Cool, I'll repair the teleporter then. That'll be a 10.
Okie doke.
I got a 12 to pursue a fleeing ship.
Gotcha.
And that's a 12 for me to shoot.
All right, so this is pretty brutal, right? Like the ship starts like turning, puttering away, smoke's pouring out of it, and you guys just basically do one more strafing run, just like peppering every inch of it with laser fire until the point where it just like any glow from the engine dims and fades out as the ship just stops and is adrift in space.
Is the teleporter fixed now?
Yes. We'll say yes.
Well, now that we've disabled it, I suppose we need to take it, right?
Is this a drone size ship, Cody?
No, this is like a cruiser size.
This is like
ship.
our size. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we need to take on whatever crew they have on board.
Assuming they're still alive.
How many of us can use the teleporter at once? Like, is it like a single, like, does someone have to be on the ship to use the teleporter?
So far, we've only used it for one person. I'm going to say one person at a time, and one person has to remain there.
I think we did 2 at a time once.
Oh, okay. Then I'll say 2 at a time, but one person has to be using the teleporter.
Sully is fine with staying back and using the teleporter to send you guys over. There's some stuff he wants to do on the ship while you guys are exploring, so.
So are we going over, or are we trying to make prisoners of anyone that's over there? Is there any way for us to tell if they're all dead or not?
I don't really imagine you guys have like life sign scanners, because that's always felt a little hokey to me. But I think that Sully has tried to use weird to like reach out and detect life on board another vessel. So I'll accept that.
I'm assuming they're going to ask me to do that, and Sully will agree. That'll be an 11.
You do not detect any life on board that vessel.
It appears that all life on that vessel has ceased, Captain.
All right. I don't particularly like taking life, but I'm glad that this fight's over.
Well, you got your ship, Marilla. Should we hook it up?
Well, I think we'll probably have to fix it up, though, right? It's pretty... we kind of did number to it, right?
I would appreciate that, and our score is not settled yet. You still owe me a crew, but I like the ship.
I thought the deal was that you could go get your crew yourself.
The deal was you would help me get my crew.
Also, I'm pretty sure we asked you if you had any kind of tracker device, and you didn't seem to know anything about it, so that's a problem.
I did not know about it.
But I guess now that we know about it, your crew, we can disable those before they leave planet.
Indeed, you seemed adept, and I thank you for it.
Not to rain on everyone's parade here, but should we work on examining the Black Dreadnaught while it is not actively engaging us in battle?
That seems like a very smart idea. Yes, Sully.
So are you guys doing anything with the ship right now? We haven't really talked about towing ships before, but I imagine towing ships is not impossible. Like, you could probably, like, magnet clamp them together.
So we don't have to fix this ship in the middle of a war zone. We can just take it with us.
If you fix it in the middle of a war zone, you have 2 ships. If you don't, you have a hunk of junk attached to your ship.
We also definitely towed the one that we got in the very first one. So
yeah, it's like 6 one way, half a dozen the other. It just depends on what you guys want to do.
Well, if you all want to take a minute to take a look at the Dreadnought, I can see what I can do with the other ship. Maybe we can have 2, depending on what Marilla's suggestions are.
All right, works for me. Sully tries to do some sciencey scans of the Black Dreadnaught.
Is that the technical term?
No, it's a sciencey term. The technical term is he'd do technical scans of the thing.
3 of you said you wanted to turn back and look at the ensuing battle, correct?
Yes.
Everyone make me investigation checks.
8 for Jyla.
Sully got an 8.
Good. 7. Okay. I forgot I had a +1 just standard to investigate as I asked my little Google robot for help.
And Vika, what are you doing right now? Are you just trying to get that ship moved over?
Yeah, well, I'm jumping over to the other ship. I'm hooking it up to us. And then I'm going to take a look at it and see if I can repair it.
Okay,
well, you
cool.
immediately suffocate because you didn't put on a spacesuit. I'm joking.
I will say you put on a spacesuit before going over to the ship, clearly leaking atmosphere. So the crew that's looking out, like, through your sensors and through the windows at the ensuing battle, it is already beginning to slow down, and in this time that it took you to defeat this one vessel, the Black Dreadnaught has already basically completely broken up the fleet of Galactic Alliance vessels. The few remaining that are left are, like, bigger than your ships, but not huge. So they're, one silhouette above your vessel, which would be like Goliath vessels, but they're smaller Goliaths, as ironic as that sounds. And as you're watching, you can see like maybe the last 10 of them being picked off, like engines sputtering out, small explosions happening all over the vessels. What you notice is that every bit of fire that is shot at the Black Dreadnaught seems to do nothing. Like, this is a larger armada than you would normally see, even now, still returning fire against this ship, and it is doing absolutely nothing. The last remaining ship that you see is being flown like the person flying it hates it. Even as you are watching, you can see like stress fractures from how quickly they are changing direction and trying to keep away from fire, as like between the few hits that the ship is taking and just the stress from flying the ship in the way they are, it is finally like incapacitated, but it isn't blown up in the way that the other ones are. It's literally like it was flown so hard that finally like one of the engines split off from the ship itself and like crashed out.
In our previous encounters with the Black Dreadnaught, have we seen it take any sort of damage ever?
You've never really seen it take damage. You've only ever seen it like be there full of massive ships.
Okay, I was just making sure this wasn't like an upgrade from its previous state.
You've never seen it in action before. This is the first time you've seen it in combat.
Okay.
And it was fully indestructible in a way that is like you've never seen before. By all means, these ships should have won. Generally, ships this big are not great at repelling an assault from like dedicated massive sized fighter bombers, which is basically what you were watching attack it, and they did nothing.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Vika's kind of drawn the short straw of crew responsibilities as she beams over to a basically dead ship, just full of dead Imposition soldiers. The engines are still like glowing and usable, but they do require some repairs to get the ship moving, which you can do with a smarts check. And I will say this is one where the specific number matters more than just like the bands, like over 12 matters.
Ugh, I made it to a 9. I'm trying to think, is there anything that could get me to a 10?
Does your innate ability help with that? Like, you just know how engines work and stuff?
I was about to say, can I use my +1 to know something about a ship?
Sure. So what I'll say is that you kind of know where as soon as you kind of set foot on this ship, for one thing, it's not dissimilar from the Honor in a lot of ways.
That's what I was going to suggest, is because it's like the same silhouette and style of our ship, so it's probably very similar subsystems.
Yeah, you remember when you were first on board the Honor, you're like, oh yeah, I want to make these modifications for this reason, and you were able to find spare parts hidden away in nooks and crannies, oh, this is where they would keep extra tubing. Mm-hmm. So because of that familiarity, yeah, I'll give you a +1, which bumps you up to 10, right?
Yep.
Okay, so basically, there's still no shields, but it is a functional ship. Every subsystem would be damaged at this point, so they're all usable, but they're all damaged. And basically, the ship has 4 hit points left before it would be completely inert again.
Was it worse than that?
It was at 0, yeah. You guys,
okay.
completely destroyed it, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, no shields right now. It's, flyable. I would not call it, combat ready.
Okay, and then is there anything that I can do to help our ship since we're at 6 hit points right now?
For right now, I am going to say no.
Okay.
But I think it's something we could add the med bay. How you guys added a med bay? I think adding ship repair shop is something that you could add to your ship and that we could come up with mechanics for, which is intentional in my mind that at some point you can patch, but your ship still has been stressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just, whatever we can do to help it out.
Right. I think it's something that you can pay to upgrade.
Okay.
I like that idea of adding that'd be a dedicated subsystem, but it's still limited at the med bay is.
Vi's gonna get on her comms from the other ship. Well, there's not a lot that I can do with this, but Marilla, I've got you a very basic ship right now that you can use. So, do you want us just to hook it up to our ship at the moment?
A tow would be much appreciated for the new Smoke and Bones.
Great. And she's going to hook up a tow cable to it.
All right. What is everyone else doing?
So what is our mission exactly? Right now, we're trying to do reconnaissance on the Black Dreadnaught.
Does Marilla have anything to say?
Yeah, what are her tips and tricks here?
I think her whole thing was getting us here. I think that's all she was here for.
I don't think so. I think she's probably got a little bit more that she can talk to us about.
I guess that's what I understood, was that her importance was getting us into system undetected.
That is not inaccurate for what it was described that she could help you guys do. Flying into normally well-defended enemy space would elicit an attack, especially as you're flying an Imposition vessel. You were able to fly here without that attack. That was her main purpose, but she's still with you guys kind of until, for one thing, you rescue the rest of her crew, and for another thing, until she wouldn't be just handed a broken ship in the middle of a war zone, which feels pretty outside of the spirit of the deal for her.
I don't know if we can do this, so you tell me if we can. But I'd like to do sensor probes on the Black Dreadnought shields and stuff to try to either identify how it's doing what it's doing, or identify a weak point or something like that.
Okay.
Or just in general learn more about it. I don't know if we have that capability.
That's a specific question that you can ask, yeah, with a investigation check. You can also talk to Marilla if you want to ask her for her opinion on what she just saw, whatever y'all wants to do. And then there's also just the general battlefield in front of you to survey that is now no longer really doing anything.
Sully doesn't care about Marilla. So
okay, no, that's fine.
Can I roll to boost the fiddle with the probes to boost their range or sensitivity?
That'll just get you camaraderie, yeah. If you're helping Sully with his action.
That's a 7.
Okay, you gain 1 camaraderie.
I also got a 7.
Well, so do you want to spend that 1 camaraderie or just hold on to it?
I'm just going to hold on to it because an 8 doesn't change anything.
Okay, so Sully and Jyla work together trying to kind of figure out what they can about the Black Dreadnaught. At this point, it is not disappearing, but you can see it turning and starting to fly at not a really slow pace. This is faster than what you would expect a ship like this to move, but it's not just vanishin into hyperspace. It's just chugging along out of the system now. As you see massive engines starting to burn, But when you start sensing it, so normally you would think, okay, we could detect and see, like, get a dimension on the ship, right? But instead you kind of get like a fuzzy blob that is larger than the ship, which is not allowing your sensors to detect anything else. And that seems like a non-answer, but it is an implication that your sensors are running into something before they run into the ship.
Like a shielding of some sort.
Well, this proved less than useful. But, Jyla, you want to see something cool?
Always.
Hit this button.
I hit the button.
All the probes blow up on the shield.
Oh, Sully, you shouldn't have.
I mean, I really shouldn't have. Don't tell Captain Malcolm Llewellyn. Those probes are kind of expensive.
I won't tell. She like grins. She's very happy.
When Vi gets back from the ship, she wants to talk to Marilla.
And what can I do for you?
Yeah, so you're supposed to be really good at all this sneaking, right? And you saw what that ship was doing.
I did see, and I am impressed. I wish you had gotten me that ship. I think I could have found it profitable.
Oh, I'm sure you could have, but there's no way we were going to be able to take on a Titan vessel. So I guess, what are your thoughts here?
Oh, you are asking me as an expert what I think of a magically indestructible ship. Well, that ship cannot be taken. That is what you call a lost cause. One that a smart scoundrel runs from. Some people see it as a challenge. I see it as a waste of my time. Why bother trying to take that which cannot be taken when so many things can?
Okay, but did you see any way to take it down? I'm not saying we want to, recover it completely here.
So, do you know the safest way to kill an Imposition soldier?
No, enlighten me.
Well, they are sleeping in the back. Generally the best way I have found. I believe this is a case where you need to find a way to stab the ship in the back while it is sleeping.
Okay, that's not a bad idea by any means.
That is how I would do it. I would cheat.
That also makes a lot of sense coming from you.
It does. I am a cheater.
So that's how you got to the top in that, fork pitching game?
Well, that and being extremely deadly. But I am not above dulling pitchfork blades or cutting hydraulic lines if I think it will give me an edge. It is all part of the game.
So deadly and a cheater.
Can it be considered cheating if there are no rules?
Exactly. That is why I liked the game. But people always seem to have rules. They call them morals.
Okay. Are we able to track where the Dreadnought is going? Or were we?
I thought we had like a good guess of like it would show up around here.
I think we had a good guess of where the next fight was going to be, but I'm trying to see if maybe it's going back to its home base.
If it has one.
Yeah, if it has one.
Okay, so this is kind of an out-of-game, in-game moment. Out-of-game, you are onto something by wanting to track it. In-game, you do not have a tracker on that ship.
Yeah.
And you also don't have a tracker in your pocket, but that is the right train of thought to be on. And I will say that there are avenues left unexplored where you are at right now. I don't want to just tell you what to do because that's lame, but
I have another question, Cody.
Sure.
Was the Dreadnought, did the Dreadnought have any drones coming out of it, or was it just shooting? Like, could there be something that was
would
piloted?
Like, that thing is meant to carry other vessels, but it is also not an unarmed ship. By the time you were paying attention to the battle, it was just the Dreadnought firing with guns all over the thing. But it does contain smaller vessels from, like, Goliath cruisers, from, like, Goliaths to cruisers to drones. It, like, it's basically a big, like, hangar ship, you know what I mean?
So could one of those possibly be piloted?
One of them could be, yes.
Okay.
Captain Malcolm Llewellyn.
Yeah, Sully.
It looks like our probes were lost due to the shields of this other vessel.
Well, that's unfortunate. Those things are expensive.
Very. It is a devastating loss.
Devastating.
But they died in the line of duty, and Jyla said it was beautiful, so...
It was, Cap. You should have been there.
But I wouldn't definitely not maybe know anything more other than that. But I think we might want to check to see if there's any survivors about the battlefield and save who we can.
So I don't really know what you all think of this, but is there any interest in maybe finding one of those slug monsters again? Because I am very curious if we could learn more about how they're controlling them. I'm thinking of Grizzle here.
You're saying, is there any interest in finding something made of chaos?
Yes.
Hard pass.
I mean, as long as we don't turn out like Grizzle.
Well, no, I'm not saying be taken over by them, but I don't know. We don't have a lot of information on them. And as I agree, Jyla, as much as I don't necessarily want to deal with them, I feel like we're running out of options and trying to study them.
I see. So you're thinking of going alone and getting into a drone hidey hole to see what you can find on the ship?
I guess I would be curious to see if any of these ships that came from the Black Dreadnaught have any of their Chaos members aboard. And I mean, we do kind of technically have a second ship right now that we could quarantine them on.
Right, fair.
And I mean, I realize that we don't have a lot of great options here, but I mean, I don't know how much we're going to learn from just scooping up chaos goop.
Right. I will say, Vika, that it gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I trust you and I'll back your play. If that's the play you want to make, I'll be with you in spirit. By that, I mean, I will support you from the ship.
Mal and Sully, you guys have thoughts?
If Jyla is supporting you from the ship, I ask that no bombs be involved.
No, I think that would draw some unwanted attention.
I don't like it, but I think it's our best plan at the moment.
I worry about our safety, but I do feel we are running short on options before Lorelei blames us for not trying hard enough again.
All right, well, Mal, pilot us into this battlefield and let's see what we can find.
Do I need to roll for that?
Ooh, you know what? I do actually want to make Mal roll for piloting and anyone else wanting to like investigate. Actually, there's only one sensor array. One person can make an investigation check.
Any particular move I need to do for this?
I would call it just like this is like a case of
Also, what are we at?
I'm going to say just use like avoid damage, like you're just trying to pilot through a treacherous situation.
That's a 10.
And is Sully making a investigation check?
I was gonna let Jyla make it, not Jyla, Vika make it. It's like her pet project, so I was gonna give her the reins of it, unless you wanted me to.
I can take it. That is a 7.
Flying through this debris field is challenging. There are shifting, like, hulking masses of blown up Galactic Alliance vessels. Like, at some point, Malcolm, as you're flying through this, you could, like, almost recognize, like, if not the exact ship you were stationed on, one that looks just like it, or pieces of ships that look just like them. Like, this is like one of those moments of, like, this could have absolutely been your fate, is being in this battle, had you not left the Outlaws. Are you specifically looking for a drone that might be attached to a ship or, like, hovering around?
I think I'm specifically looking for a drone size vessel because I assume there will only be one person on it.
Oh, you're looking for someone who is like, you're looking for a chaos tainted person.
I'm currently looking for a chaos tainted person, but also, I feel like, am I wrong in assuming that chaos tainted people would they show up on scanners?
Like I said, I don't really imagine you guys having exactly life sign scanners exactly. But if what you're looking for is a chaos tainted ship, those are like readily visible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't find any damaged vessels, but what you do find is that last ship that was like the last ship to get blown out of combat, the one that was not totally destroyed and basically ripped itself apart trying to maneuver out of the way of fire coming from the Black Dreadnaught. You see that ship is currently being dismantled by a few remaining chaos tainted ships. They are all like those single seat drone ships. So as you approach that vessel, you can see that there are a few of them like docked and like not like docked on airlocks, like ripped into the hull and attached to the vessel now.
Well, do we want to pick one off of this Alliance ship?
It appears that they are not, that they are inside the Alliance ship would be my guess. So I think we'll need to go in and not just pick one off, so to speak.
It sounded like they were just kind of rammed into the side.
Yeah, but we're saying that, I think he's saying the person from that ship is probably not on the little fighter anymore. They're probably on the Alliance ship. They probably boarded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could get close enough with that piloting roll that you could like look in and see through the cockpit. They're all empty, but yeah, that is not a bad guess to make that they boarded this vessel.
That makes me wonder if there's still someone on board.
I mean, if you want an empty ship, that's the time to take it.
Well, it's not the empty ship I want. It's one of the chaos people.
I guess it's time to teleport over.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for the show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and the public domain. If you liked this show, you can check out more of our actual plays at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or Podbean, as well as interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Plays on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at Wandering_Gamer_Network. You can also find us on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at Wandering_Gamer_Network. Now remember, it's not the outlaw that makes trouble. It's trouble that makes the outlaw.